Hi guys, it's Simon from Adrenaline e-bikes. I've been meaning to do this video for a while now, up close and personal review of my own AM1000. I've had it a few months, I've done about 500 miles on it. I'm going to walk you around all the different component parts of the bike, how to install the battery, how to turn it on, how to charge the battery, have a look at all the different bits and pieces. Please do ask me any questions at the end of the video, I'll be more than happy to answer them. But for now, let's get into it and let's have a look at the bike. Okay, so we're going to start from the outside in basically. This is the 2019 version 5 of the AM1000. I got it in the size medium frame and I chose a high gloss metallic black with a gold sort of powder fleck. It's a little bit difficult to see, but I mean, it'd be better to see it in the sunlight, but it really is a nice high quality paint finish. I'm super pleased with that. This particular bike, the AM1000, comes with the Bafang 1000 watt motor. It's the GS 510 or the Ultra, Bafang Ultra, and it's got all internal steel gears. When I bought it, it came as standard with a 40 tooth front chainring. I actually changed mine to a Surly stainless steel 46 tooth chainring just because it suits my type of riding a little bit more. With regards to cassette, as standard again, it came with a Shimano XT M8000 11 speed group set with a cassette 11 to 46 teeth. But again, I changed it to an 11 to 40 teeth. I didn't need quite the same sort of low range on it. The chain on the bike is a KMC E11 speed, and as you can see as well, it's got the chain keeper on here, which is quite a nice addition. It means you don't get the chain sort of dropping out coming off the chainring. Some of the chain rings you can buy do come with narrow wide fitment. This one hasn't got it, but as I say, I don't think there's too much risk of losing the chain because of the chain keeper. Just coming back to the back and the rear derailleur, there's actually like a little clutch mechanism on the XT, which you clip that over and it tightens the whole chain system up, so you get less chain slap and also again less likelihood of the chain actually coming off. I ordered mine with the 52 volt 17.5 amp hour battery and it comes with a 5 amp hour charger as well. We'll take a look at that a little bit later on. The front fork is a Lyric RC. That's got 160 millimeters of travel, sorry. And I upgraded my one to the Lyric from the Yari. Yeah, purely just because I wanted that extra little bit of performance out of it. The rear linkage for the suspension is really nicely designed, really nicely machined. It's all got bearings, nicely finished off. The shock is a RockShox Deluxe rear suspension unit, and on this you've actually got the lockout, so you can flick that up and then it will it's pretty much locked it out. It really sort of hardens it up if you're if you're climbing or you're on the flat, but the suspension is super plush on this thing. It's really nice. We've also, I requested to have the gear sensor fitted. So it's coming off the gear lever here, as you can see. What that is, it's a little electronic device that will, when you're changing gear, it will cut the power to the motor. And it means that you're not basically changing with gear with full power going through the chain. So again, it's more sort of a longevity thing, trying to help protect the whole sort of group set in the running gear. The front hub is a Quanta and it's 110 millimeters by 15 mil, and the rear hub, let me just spin around and have a look at that. The rear hub is a Quanta again, but that's 148 millimeter by 12 millimeter. The tyres on this are Maxxis. They're 27.5 inches by 2.8 inches wide, so they're pretty chunky. My rear tyre is actually quite worn down now, again because I've been using it on the road. I do use it generally off-road more than on-road, but you know, it's not ideal on the road. You're going to wear that stuff down. So really I'm going to be looking for some bigger, chunkier tyres in the near future. And the tyres are actually sat on double wheel rims, so you know, it's again extra strength in the bike. Really nicely well made. The brakes are Magura, really nice levers, fully hydraulic obviously. It's got cutout sensors again on the brakes, so as soon as you brake, it basically again also cut the power to the motor. Another little safety feature on the bike, just to sort of again protect the gear train. So coming down to the wheel, you see here we've got, so they're MT5E, and they're 4-piston hydraulic brakes at the front, and we've got 203mm steel discs on there. So that's the front, and then at the rear, we just cut in and have a look down here as well. Again, you've got those lovely 4-piston Magura brakes. Super powerful performance out of the brakes. Okay, and there's that Bafang motor, really nicely super integrated into the frame. Nice housing, really fits in there quite nicely, and again finished off ever so well. Really good stuff. So the last few components just to cover off then. So in terms of the headset, that's a Nico N383EN 8-piece headset. The handlebar is Pro Max, and the stem is Pro Max as well, as is the seat post. The saddle itself is Prologo Kappa RS saddle from Italy. Very nice. I find it actually really comfortable. Yeah, that's really cool. I quite like that. And then finally on the pedals, I mean, this is a bit of a personal preference thing really, but they're Well-Go pedals. They've got these pins on. I tend to ride in flat shoes, and you know, I mean, they really lock in well, but a lot of people will ride with the old clipless. Okay, so coming in to look at the controls we've got on the handlebar, we've got the thumb throttle here. We'll have a look at the operation of that a little bit later on. We've got the main switch gear unit here for setting the various parameters. Obviously the display unit, and this gadget over here that just holds my Garmin, as I normally have that on for tracking my rides. So switching it on, we're going to press and hold the button on the right hand side, and then we immediately see the display fire up. Now it's asking me for password, so let's just quickly go through that. 1, 2, 3, 4, great password there. It is useful though. I actually set that differently. I've only done it for the purposes of this. So it's come in on Eco Assist level 1, Eco Assist 1. You can knock it down to 0, in which case it won't give you any power from the motor to the drivetrain, so you can just pedal the bike. Level 1 obviously gives you a lower level of assistance. 2, 3, 4, 5, they're your different assist levels. If you press and hold this, the plus, and I'm just doing that by these plus and minus buttons here. If I press and hold now on that top one, you'll see it switch to Sport, and again we get the same 5 levels, so we're in Sport 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're basically getting more or less power, and the difference between Eco and Sport is pretty much like the map, the Sport and Eco maps on your car, if you've got such a thing, just a little bit more performance and acceleration, for example. The other things we've got on the display, just to point out, we've got the clock at the top, battery level indicator, it's saying 94% at the moment. I'm not sure if you can really see that. And then we have a power meter, 0 to 1500 watts peak power, and the speed 0, and it records round to 60 miles an hour. You've got, if you double click on the little I button here, try that again, right, it's now saying we've got various options we can go into. If I go into the display settings, then you've got a whole host of parameters and different values you can set there. But I won't go into that in too much more detail, but if you do have any questions around that, the running of it, the programming, etc., then please do comment on the video. Okay, I'm going to show you the operation of the thumb throttle now then. So this is, you can see it here by my thumb obviously, and it really is nicely progressive. And on my particular bike, my setup
it will actually power you from standstill, from zero. So I'll just keep quiet and I'll just do this slowly, and you'll hear it wind up slowly as I progressively push it on. And now we take a look at that from another angle.
Okay, so we look at it from a different angle now then, so I'm going to just wind on the throttle again, really progressively and slowly, so you'll see how the rear wheel just spins up. Okay, here we go. So there, we just literally hardly any movement at all on the thumb throttle. I can stop the pedals spinning around as well, look. And I'm just going to wind it on now to full power. So we're just going up a bit more power, faster, faster. And now we're maxed out. Okay, it's saying 21 mile an hour, but I think it cuts to that speed. And then I'm off the throttle, slowing down, obviously free breathing now, and then rear brake, and it comes to a stop. Okay, so let's have a look at how the battery goes on and off the bike. You get a key, obviously locks it on. Key goes in, twist, and the battery comes out like that. So that's with the battery out. And then to put it back in, you simply locate in the bottom part of the bracket, and then twist the key in and out. And that's locked on there firmly now. Okay, so let's just look at that again. Keys in there, twist it, and it comes off like that. And then to replace it, just literally twist the key, push it in, key out, that's locked in there. Okay, let's have a look at the bike a little bit closer with the battery now removed. We just zoom in. So there, that's the obviously battery connector bit there, block, and you can see that's the locking pin. So you rotate the key, you can see that's how that operates it. Okay, and then you've got this channel. That's where the battery sits in. So this is all steel, it's really solid stuff. At the bottom here, that's the connector bit that you need to locate into. Okay, I mean, I would add as well that the cabling on the bike is all routed really nicely. If you look how, you know, some of it is coming out through the frame, it's all routed nicely through, cable tied on, lovely finish, you know, all finished off nicely. There's a speed sensor, this is the rear wheel speed sensor here. Again, the cable sort of feeds into the motor for the control and sensing capability. And then just finally, I mean, you probably noticed that on the bike as well, I've got these huggers, the rear hugger, I think they're mud hugger they're called. It's an aftermarket piece that I fitted on. It does a really good job actually, keeping all the dirt and muck off your back. This one's quite cool, it just sort of cable ties on. One thing I would say is it's worth putting some of the plastic sort of perspex on the frame just to protect it a bit. And I've got these soft pieces as well, sort of frame protectors as well on there. So that's the rear hugger. And then on the front, again, similar sort of thing. I've got the, it's the mud, again called mud hugger. It's a little bit tight on the old clearance here, especially if I'm going to be putting on some chunkier tread. So I might have to look at moving it a little bit, but again, it's sort of just cable tied on around the fork stanchions and over the top of the header piece here with a couple of cable ties. But I mean, it's been rock solid, it's really good. I did actually buy the, I think they call it a fender extender piece as well. Again, it stops a lot of the crap coming up onto the bike and just tries to keep your pride and joy nice and clean. And we all like a nice, clean pride and joy. We're on to the home straight now. We're going to take a little bit more of a closer look at the battery. This, as I said, is the 52 volt, 17.5 amp hour battery. I label mine up. I've got a second battery as well that I bought. They're all barcoded again. I think they're using Samsung 3500 milliamp hour cells. So yeah, that's the battery. It's a pretty heavy old item. You've got the charging connector here. If we just rotate it around a bit, I'll show you, you know, it's basically you've got an indicator on the top there that allows you to check on the charge when it's disconnected from the bike as well. Again, just turning it over, really nicely well packaged battery pack up again. So this is the bottom end of it where you've got the locator piece that goes into the bottom of the frame as I showed you.
and then up at the top here you've got the main power feed connector onto the bike, and then also you've got this nice little feature which is a USB connector, so you can power I don't think you can power like really powerful lights, but you can draw, you know, a couple of amps out of that or something like that. So that's a pretty useful feature as well. Heading on over to the charger now. So yeah, really good looking charger. We've got a standard UK plug, so fitted on the cabling that goes to a socket into the charger unit itself. It's in a heat sink sort of extruded aluminium casing. I think it's a pretty nicely designed thing. I mean, it's 52 volt output. I think actually fully charged, the batteries charge up to about 58.8 volts, 5 amps, and it takes about 3 hours to 4 hours to fully charge up. So let's have a look at plugging that in now. So right, what we do, charge it, turn it on, leave it off at the wall for a moment. Here we're going to plug it in down on the connector. So we're plugged in, plug the connector into the battery now. Not on yet, so we come over here, we're going to flick it on at the wall. Light comes on, and I don't know if you can hear that, it's got an internal cooling fan as well for the componentry within inside the charger. So yeah, it's a properly designed charger. That's now charging. And once it's actually fully charged, it takes about 3 to 4 hours to fully charge up a completely flat battery. But once it's charged, the charger will actually cut out as well, so it's perfectly safe to leave it on overnight charging up. So that's it really, guys. Hopefully you found that useful. I'm going to get packed away now, let my wife have her kitchen and dining room back. But as I say, it was something I've been meaning to do for a while. Any questions, please do ask. You know, there's not a lot more I can say about the bike really. I mean, it's a fantastic ride, really good quality, well made. You know, you'll have great fun on one of these things. So if you want to come and have a go on it, then please contact me. You're more than welcome to come and have a good look around it, have some demo rides on it, and we take it from there. Good luck, guys. Cheers. Bye.